Oh, hey, Paul, it's Dave. Yeah, hey, listen, have you heard that the sequel to the Halloween 2018 film apparently is going to be called Halloween 2? What the fuck, man? I know! I mean, we already had a Halloween 2 in 1981. We had another one in 2009. What the hell is going on? This will be our third Halloween 2! Okay. Oh. Oh. I knew that. I'll tell them. Thanks, Paul. Bye-bye. It's a fucking shit show! What you think you see, what you think you hear, that's what it's about. Mood and atmosphere. No, it's fucking garbage. It's garbage. Mood and atmosphere. Now that I really like. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want to see. Hey folks, how you doing? Dave McRae here. Okay, in this video, I want to, okay. I wasn't gonna do this video, but enough people, not a lot of people, but enough people have inquired about this over the last week or so. My assistant showed me a list of Facebook messages, and I've been following a few tweets that I've got on Twitter, and I was like, what are they talking about? So I was like, okay, so I looked into it and I was like, oh, okay, I think I'll do a video about this. So here's the situation. So it seems that a lot of people out there, not everybody, but enough people, like I said, seem to be under the impression that the new Halloween movie that they're supposedly working on, I got to do that because it hasn't been officially confirmed yet. It's been all but confirmed, essentially. But, you know, you got to do that. Okay, you never know. Got to cover my bases, cover my ass. That they're essentially working on a sequel to the Halloween 2018 film is just going to be called Halloween 2. What do you think of that? Just going to be called Halloween 2. And I'm reading this, I'm like, what the fuck, where the hell are they getting that from? You know, and I'm always up on Halloween shit. Just because you don't see, like if something Halloween-y drops and you don't see me do a video on it, it doesn't mean I'm not aware of it, right? Maybe I look at it and I go, meh, I'll wait for more information, or meh, nothing really to say there. I don't really care about that, right? I'm usually always up on what's going on in the world of horror, especially when it comes to Halloween. But I got to pick and choose, right? Because I like to be, for the most part anyway, I try to be quality over quantity. So I found this really interesting because I'm like, I didn't hear about this. Like, how could I not hear about it? It's going to be called Halloween 2? What the fuck is that shit? I mean, we already had a Halloween 2 in 81. We had a Halloween 2 in 2009. And essentially, you could look at this Halloween 2018 film as like an alternate Halloween 2. So it's like we've had 3 Halloween 2s. Now we're going to have a 4th Halloween 2? I mean, if anything, it should be called Halloween 3 because Halloween 2018 is really a sequel to Halloween 1978. So Halloween 2018 is essentially Halloween 2. Gets so fucking complicated. So, anyway, so I did a bit of research. I looked at all the articles that were supposedly saying this, and it became very apparent to me what was going on. Okay, so here's the situation. First, let me start here. Anybody who has a YouTube channel will be able to relate to this, especially when it comes to the world of movies and fandom, or maybe anything fandom related. I mean, maybe you get this in the world of games too. I don't know. But when you develop a little bit of a following and you start to pay attention to other channels and other spaces and things like that, you begin to realize that the broader fan community, generally speaking, and I'll get to that in a second, seems to lack something called nuance. They take everything so literally. Not everybody. There's a fair amount of people that get it, but there's enough people that don't. And that's, I've been made fun of for this on this channel. And I think it's hilarious because it's true. I can't deny it. I do say it. I will say by and large a lot. I will say generally speaking a lot. I will say at the end of the day a lot. And the reason why I say those things is because if I don't preface something, people will take it literally. I'm like, well, that's what Dave said. Dave said it. He just said it. It's like, no. Well, yeah, but it's generally, like, not all the time. I just mean that by and large, that's probably what you're going to see or what you're going to find or what that means. But that doesn't mean that you couldn't come across that and it could mean something else, right? So a lot of us people doing these types of channels, you'll find us going, but hang on, at least I do that because I care about what you think, and I care about you walking away with the correct information, okay? That's why I do it. But I love the little things. Dave, at the end of the day, McRae. I love that shit in the comment section. It's great. So this is one of those things, okay? So what does the article pertain? What are these people talking about? Okay, well, if you guys remember, about a week or so ago, I uploaded a video talking about the breaking news that Collider did on Collider.com, which is a pretty reputable source in the media, in the movie space, where sources told Collider that Blumhouse is getting ready to hire a gentleman by the name of Scott Teems, okay, to write a screenplay based on a treatment that he presented to them with his idea for a sequel to Halloween 2018. So I did a video on that. You guys, I'm sure, remember that. You remember that article. You remember that news. It's not that long ago. But there was nothing in that article where it said that the movie is going to be called Halloween 2. Nothing. Well, what ended up happening is that other media outlets, if I can say that, media. I'm a stickler when it comes to that kind of thing because my father was a journalist. I come from a media family. He died in 2011. But I'm a stickler when it comes to journalism because real journalism is very far and few between nowadays, especially because of social media, it's become very cliquey. But, there have been quite a few media sources, some pretty reputable, some I've never even fucking heard of, that I'm sure it's just like a WordPress page for some guy in some mom's basement or something. Nonetheless, of people with headlines saying, Halloween 2 gets its writer. Blumhouse getting ready to do Halloween 2 or Halloween 2, Halloween 2, Halloween 2, Halloween 2. You actually see Halloween 2 or 2. I guess that would be 2 for you guys. I got to do backwards so it looks like 2 for you. I think that's right? Or maybe that's right. No, maybe that's right. I don't know. Whatever the fuck I'm doing. So anyway, so Halloween 2. But when you look at the article that it links to, it's linking to an article maybe from MovieWeb, maybe from Screen Rant, maybe from Bloody Disgusting, maybe from Horror News. But whatever whatever media outlet they're linking to, that article is the exact same information that you find in the Collider article, which is the root of the entire story. There's no new information in any of these articles, okay? Because what they've done is they've taken the base, the root of what the Collider article is. They've taken that information and they've sourced it, but they've written an article in their own way. And maybe they've added some speculation, some personal opinions in and around the facts that we know from Collider, but they've written it in their own way. There was one article that somebody drew my attention to. I forget what it was. It was Halloween 2 finds its writer or something like that, and all the information we know. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck is this? Is this new? No, it's the exact same information from the Collider article a week ago. Literally the exact same information, but it's written in their own way, which could give you the illusion that it's new information, but it's not really. But nowhere does it say that the movie's going to be called Halloween 2. That's just the headlines. And if anybody did say that in any of those articles, which I didn't see, then they need to be slapped in the face. Unless they have an actual source that can be verified and measured and quantified that yes, indeed, it's going to be Halloween 2. It's not going to be Halloween 2. What these headlines are doing, some might be clickbait, but what I think they are is that they're writing Halloween 2 because essentially that's what it is. When it comes to the headline, Halloween 2, pretend after the Halloween 2 you see in the headline, there's an imaginary for all intents and purposes. Because that's what they're alluding to. It's not to be taken literally, like the actual title of the movie is going to be called Halloween 2. They just mean that, well, the 2018 film was called Halloween. That's all it was called. So, that Halloween 2 is being worked on. It's kind of just tossed around lightly, like it's like, well, that sequel. Would a better headline have been sequel to the 2018 film being worked on? Yes. Could it be clickbaity? Maybe. But I'm not getting that impression because when you read the article that that headline pertains to, it's just essentially the Collider article just carried over and written in their own way. There's no new information. It's not like they've discovered that the movie's going to be called Halloween 2. And the working title for this movie is not even going to be called Halloween 2. I can guarantee you it's not going to be called Halloween 2 because working titles by and large, okay, now that doesn't mean that right now around the office, they're not calling it Halloween 2 amongst themselves to define sort of the movie that they're working on. Yeah, well, we'll get teams to write Halloween 2. Yeah, well, you know what? Why don't you talk to John about Halloween 2? Yes, they might have that sort of casually tossed around the office because they need to quickly, define what the movie is rather than saying, hey, you know what, why don't you get teams to write that sequel to Halloween 2018 that we shouldn't call Halloween 2 because there's already 3 Halloween 2s, including they're not going to say that. It's just far too, it's far too wordy and far too long. So they're just casually tossing it out. That's what that headline means, okay? It's pertaining to the idea that there is a sequel being written, not that this movie is going to be called Halloween 2. When it comes time to actually shoot the film and an official working title is presented, I guarantee you it's not going to be Halloween 2 because by and large, working titles, by and large now, are generally titles that try to sort of misdirect people away from the production because a lot of productions like to shoot on location, okay? And, they want to sort of, have it out there in the ether that, no, it's not the Halloween film that you think is going on down there. It's something called Killer Santa Clauses from Toledo. Do you know what I mean? And that's like, oh, I guess that's now, of course, in this day and age, working titles, really hard to get away with it now. 40, 50 years ago, when there was no internet and there was no social media, and it was really easy to fool people. Now, not so much. But working titles have become kind of a tradition, and they do work. I mean, they can. It's better to have it, than not have it at all because it could deter some people. But generally speaking, people sort of latch onto these things because there's just other ways to find out now. But the working title is not going to be Halloween 2. It'll be something else. These are just headlines. These are just headlines saying, hey, that fucking sequel, yeah, that part 2 to that movie is being worked on. That's what it means, okay? It doesn't mean the movie's going to be called Halloween 2. So in the world of fandom, it's so important that we read between the lines. We understand nuance because it's so important to understand nuance. It's so important because if we don't, I've noticed that in the world of fandom, there are extremes. Something's either a 10 out of 10 or it's shit. And it's like, no. Hey, I thought, there are people that go, oh, it got a 75 on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, that's shit. No, that means 7 out of every 10 people liked it, essentially. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? But we live in the world of fandom, especially with such extremes. And this is all new to me because, of course, I've only been doing this for 2 years. And it's fascinating to me, because I'm like, dude, I thought it was a 7 out of 10. I thought it was good. It was fine. No, you thought it was shit. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Now, having said all of that, could the title of this new sequel they're working on actually end up being Halloween 2? Well, yeah, of course it could be, but that's not what those articles are talking about. That's not what those articles are saying. That's not what those headlines are pertaining to. So if the movie actually does end up being called Halloween 2, it could be, if you want to know my thoughts on that separate from all of that, well, I think that's fucking stupid. Because, it's going to be your third Halloween 2 or your third Halloween called Halloween 2. And even the 2018 film is a Halloween 2 for all intents and purposes. So, yes, it could be, but that's not what those articles are pertaining to. And if anybody is trying to say that, well, they're wrong because there's no evidence of that. None. We don't even know what the fucking the script hasn't even been written yet, for Christ's sakes. Anyway, so hopefully I've been able to clear that up for you, that, you can look at that and go, oh, they're just trying to basically say that sequel, because that's what they're talking about. Anyways, folks, my name's Dave McRae. Comment below and let me know your thoughts. If you want to follow me on Facebook, you can at facebook.com/manythingsdavemcrae. That's where I tend to post in the meantime and in between time when I'm not posting here. The link is in the description, as well as links to my IMDb, my Twitter, merch store, Patreon, official website. Yeah, it's all down there. Check it out if you want to. So, nuance, people. Nuance. Let's think now. Let's put our thinking caps on. Let's read. Let's analyze. Let's think about it. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, nuance. I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.